threatening to go on strike. They have started work without clearance, without salaries, without pay. Again, we collaborated with the Ministry of Finance, and as I speak to you now, we have succeeded in getting them clearance, and they are being migrated onto the payroll. We had about 800 medical doctors who had finished their housemanship, but they were still at home without clearance. As I speak to you now, the Ministry of Finance has issued clearance, and all these medical doctors are going to start work with immediate effect. And with this one, our priority gentlemen, as I speak to you now, that about 6,500, that will add up to the 7,000 already being paid, making 13,500. That allowance, that's over 6,000. Cabinet has approved that with immediate effect, starting from November, the Minister for Finance must pay them. And I have in my hand the letter to that effect. And so these were the difficulties. I empathize with anybody who had to go through this painful situation. And it is important for Ghanaians to be taken along. You recently heard some junior doctors threatening to go on strike. They have started work without clearance, without salaries, without pay. Again, we collaborated with the Ministry of Finance, and as I speak to you now, we have succeeded in getting them clearance, and they are being migrated onto the payroll. We had about 800 medical doctors who had finished their housemanship, but they were still at home without clearance. As I speak to you now, the Ministry of Finance has issued clearance, and all these medical doctors are going to start work with immediate effect. And with this one, our priority areas are in the rural areas. So it was not only the issue of the 13,500 nurses and midwives. There were pharmacists who had completed their housemanship as far back from 2023 to 2024 who had not been paid. We inherited that. And those people have been paid. I am telling you what we inherited and what we have done about them and what we are doing about them. We had more than 17,000 rotational nurses, allied health professionals who also didn't have clearance as far as their rotation was concerned. By the grace of God, we have secured clearance for these more than 17,000 health professionals. That was not the only thing. There were issues about conditions of service. We've heard them before. And so we had to onboard them gradually, because you agree with me that we also have a country to govern. Ladies and gentlemen, as I speak to you now, that about 6,500, that will add up to the 7,000 already being paid, making 13,500. That allowance, that's over 6,000. Cabinet has approved that with immediate effect, starting from November, the Minister for Finance must pay them. And I have in my hand the letter to that effect. And so these were the difficulties. I empathize with anybody who had to go through this painful situation. And it is important for Ghanaians to be taken along. And so I think at this point, I will want to pause here. If you have any clarity to seek, I will do that accordingly. I thank you for the opportunity.
Office for this prompt intervention of our situation, and I stand on my leadership and
the apprehensive. I will gladly want to hear that the financial clearance has been agreed by cabinet given for their postings, and also those that have finished the housemanship from 2020 but haven't been employed. Thank you. Honorable Minister.
I'm the person of Clement. In your speech, I heard you saying that cabinet has approved for you to start paying the 6,500 in November. Is it going to be in the arrears, or how is it? And also, we have some of our colleagues who have passed away. They've died without their salaries. How are you going to attend to that too? Thank you very much.
To let the public understand the issues. As for how you take it, will be entirely your option. These issues, everybody here will agree with me that this is not the first time I'm having the opportunity to explain some of these issues. But we have a country to govern. And so I will do my best under the circumstances to serve Madagascar. His Excellency the President, John Dramani Mahama, is so committed to the health sector. You all recall, and the nurses will bear me out, and immediately we took office, there was a fiat to allow everybody who was employed after 7 December to go home. Am I the only person who heard it? The 6,000 something for them to be fully paid. So let me answer that question. Let me tie in this question with the issue of arrears. We'll issue how we are going to pay the arrears, and we'll make sure that you are paid accordingly. And the issue of the pharmacies. Ordinarily, these pharmacists should have started their housemanship. These pharmacists completed their course in 2024. Now, if you allow them to work without financial clearance, okay, we'll witness what we are seeing at the moment. So there is a need for us to give them financial clearance before they start the housemanship. And I can assure you, it was part of what we discussed at Cabinet, and Cabinet has approved that that too must be cleared as soon as possible. I think these were the questions asked. So if I'll take... That is a very difficult question. So how the debt will pay, we'll have to maybe think through it and see how the debt will be paid. But that would be a very difficult situation. So maybe we'll reflect on that and see what the law says with regards to that.
Then you paid for us.
It is a mere tree, so I should do the tree before I take the next batch, or let me finish with the English before I come and take the next.
True or false?
You want me to react to rumor?
I've seen it in various platforms,
That's right.
and I want to hear from you. And I believe that everyone over here wants to hear from you as well. Please, how true is it that one of these two nurses that was moving around on our social media platforms, one of them name was mentioned that she would be punished due to what happened during the demonstration? How true is that, sir?
Okay.
Hello, Minister. My name is Majid Diallo from Ghana News Online. Recently, we all visited the La Hospital. You promised that the project will be completed very soon.
I do not want us to miss anything with this particular one. So please, let's concentrate on.
Okay, can you touch on the agenda 111?
No, I beg you. I beg you, let's deal with the issues of the salaries.
Okay.
So that we don't divert that.
Okay,
So if you have
that's
any clarification to seek on this subject matter, there are a lot of issues. I'll take time. These are unpaid salary issues we are dealing with. At another time, I'll pick one thing. We'll tell you what we came to inherit, what the situation was, and what we have done, and what we are doing. We'll be having a series of these engagement. You see, it is always very important to allow Ghanaians to know what is happening from farmer to drama king to other people. But it's a very sensitive ministry, and I am enjoying it, and that has been my life since I was born. And so it's a pleasure serving your people in this capacity. We will do our best, but it is important to fill the vacuum so that people will not misinform Ghanaians. This is what we are seeking to do. Once Ghanaians appreciate the challenge, they will also appreciate what you are doing about it. And so for me, it's a sensitive ministry, and it has direct correlation with our survival and even productivity as a country. So that is why people are so much interested, and it's a very big ministry as well. So I'm enjoying it, to tell you the truth. I am enjoying it. Yeah. Any other question? Yes. Who? And somebody has asked a question about the nurse. I have to respond.
Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
I'm Jacob, because I'm Jacob from Ghanaian Times.
Okay.
Yes, so as humans, we have different perspectives.
My attention was drawn to it yesterday I was in the constituency. So my attention was drawn to it. And then the ministry issued a press release to that effect. I do not want to sound as though I want to encourage indiscipline in the sector. But I think that I wish I was not the one at the center of this issue. I wish that a nurse or a health professional has been called to answer how maybe he or she has mistreated or mishandled a client or a patient, and not about the minister. I am a public servant. And if His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is your president, you must always look up to him. Freedom of speech, the right to demonstrate, divergent opinion, are some the tenets His Excellency the President upholds so high. And so you cannot be his appointee and frown on those things. Nothing against anybody who demonstrates. But of course, as I stated earlier on, let us do that responsibly. And so I'll urge the Director General of the Ghana Health Service to temper justice with mercy. This is not to encourage anybody to act irresponsibly. But I think that this should not engage our attention. What is important is how we will solve the issues, the challenges we have inherited. That should be the focus, and not these tangentials. I would also not want to sound as though I am condemning those who want to uphold professionalism and discipline in the sector. No, I will not do that. But with the greatest of respect. We have done this work for more than 25 years. We've gone through, the extreme. We've gone to worse things than this. But once you are determined to serve your people, some of these things are simply not avoidable. You need them. And by the grace of God, I have the skin to accommodate some of these things. And so, subsequently, it was over the weekends, I will engage the Director General on phone and then try to appeal to him to. That doesn't stop any disciplinary action they are taking in the sector or what have you. But I do not want it to set that as though somebody openly expressed his or her opinion and she put meanings into this, and that will divert their attention from the good things we are doing. We are determined, we are resolute, we are focused to fix the challenges we have inherited as part of the resettlement agenda. I thank you so very much for the opportunity. I hope I've clarified.
My name is Alberta Aite. I'm representing the rotational nurses in Ghana. So we want to thank you for your intervention so far. But then I want to ask with regards to the financial clearance. Please, is it going to be for those of our senior colleagues who completed last year, or those of us who are 5 months into our rotation?
Thank you very much. And they've not gotten anything, and we are fixing it. Even if you demonstrate, Ghanaians will understand. And they will know where it's coming from. And that's what I'm seeking to do. My dearness, those who have completed and those of you who are working, all those issues will be sorted out. We will fix those ones. So everybody will not leave some of these things in a mess as we inherited. We'll clear them. Okay. So, no more yet 13,500. Yet to me, Emma, a move 10,000, by yet 10,000, yet you move a good payroll, and so said, Omon Shassi, not Omonia Katia. 10,000, no, you move 7,000, dear, Meno Kasai, Busum Bia, Omodia Katia. Ntiasen bisa say, then I'm a year or no, the year or no, they say out of the 13,000, say I'm in the Mokasai, a moon, bay 7,000 there, Busumi Bia, Omojo Makatia. Now, I can't bay 6,500, 6,500, the cocaine. So, what's here? I can say bay 10,000, nah, I will pay room so 7,000 each or mocha. I just said 3,000 be a wo payroll so as you into your mocha. The Omobeka 3,500 now, young for to payroll so crana, now 6,500. Omo, and ye pe quanya, ye be paswa, almost a bed, even to your mocha. Young complaining. Problems I have to know. You be pet the pumice cigarette. Nemo. So one can the other 2 years, 1 year, wow, come on. If you say, so problem will now create here. The career, young can is aqua, you bet some of the ye, any the air, any the air. The Madame, I must say, let me guess here.
So, So on behalf of the Honorable Minister and the entire management of the ministry, I wish to express our utmost gratitude to you, our media friends and nurses and our unions for the swift response you gave to our call. We are so grateful. A lot have been said here.
You know, leader. Hi. Good. Let's work together. We'll face all this situation. Eh? Some of them are not for public consumption. So let's meet behind the scene and then solve them. Thank you very much for coming.